Coffee is for leaders.
It's not complicated. I think it's about building a reputation about you and your business style, like promises and over deliver to your customers, people around you. Keep doing that, then everything just comes naturally. Things just come together.
David, thank you so much for coming on the show. It means a lot to have you on here. Tell us about yourself, your company, and what iLabs does.
But basically, iLabs is a contract manufacturing company that really focus on research and development and bring innovations to beauty industry, mainly like skincare, hair care, body care, and fragrance and so on. And mainly we focus a lot on OTC products such as sunscreens, acne. That area is a big chunk of our business, bring innovation to the market. And basically we are based in Mahwah, New Jersey here. And this is what we do for last, I guess, 5 years.
And OTC is over the counter, I'm assuming?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, they consider like sunscreens and acne areas are controlled by FDA. So we call that OTC areas.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, how long have you been doing? What were you doing prior to this? And what made you get into the beauty industry?
Oh, wow. So Clint, I've been in self-employed, I guess, forever since I got out of the college, I guess since 23 years old. I'm pretty old now, but I've been doing this for a long time and been in the beauty industry quite a bit. Before iLabs, I also had another contract manufacturing company, very similar, called Englewood Lab, same in Englewood, New Jersey. And, I built that company from blank sheet of paper and took the company IPO in Korea and exited back in 2018.
That is incredible. Well done. Congratulations on that. That's very cool. So, tell me about like supply chain issues. And obviously, we're talking on a day. I don't know when this will air, but we're talking on a day where the president of the United States, Donald Trump, has imposed tariffs on Mexico and Canada. We're actually talking an hour after Mexico. He gave Mexico a 30-day leave on that, and they're going to try to work out some sort of deal. The Canada one is still happening. How are you thinking about tariffs? How are you preparing for that? I'm sure that's a big part of your business, this whole supply chain thing, right?
So, in our beauty industry, I don't know the exact percentage, but I would say, I don't know, maybe 70 to 90% of our packaging materials, like the bottles, the jars, the caps, comes from China. A big chunk in our industry, whether it's a luxury skincare brand, it doesn't really matter. A lot come from China. And when Trump first round, he increased to 25% duty. Now we just got announced, I guess, last week, he's going to increase another 10%. So now China will be not competitive anymore, even though they have low wage. Now at 35-40% of duty coming into the country of this packaging material is going to be really big deal for especially manufacturers in China. It's going to hurt a lot. And then for us, it's going to, our cost of goods is going to go up dramatically as well, unless we move to another country.
So how do you feel about it? You think it's good, bad? It sounds like you think it's bad.
I think there's always a silver lining, right, in this. For the consumer, obviously the price will go up. It'll be an increase now in inflation, and so. But now the business people needs to figure out how to go about finding other ways of getting these products, the packaging materials that's outside of China, and so. For iLabs, for me personally, it's a good thing that I also have a exact identical manufacturing facility in South Korea where we has able to produce. So the opportunity of my client be able to move those stuff to our manufacturing in Korea and produce there, where they have pretty much very small duties coming into the country where as a finished good. But overall, it's gonna be not a good news for the average consumers, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting to see how it plays out. It seems like the Mexico ones are, already being worked out, and it might not even happen. We'll see what happens as this thing goes. Really interesting times, right?
Yeah.
And fascinating time to be running a business like yours. What does a typical day look like for you?
A typical day, for me, I'm one of those person who's a morning person. I get up very early. Usually start my workout exercise around 6 a.m. or so, and then do a little bit of meditation in the morning, to just get me the start. And then from start 8 a.m. on, I'm just back to back, until till late at night. And I also have a company in South Korea where to time zone. So I'm working at night, which is morning there. So usually I end the day like 8, 9 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated? Why do you keep going? I mean, you've had a lot of success. What keeps you motivated and drive to keep working that hard?
Clint, I always ask that question to myself every day. And oh my God, I don't know. Like, especially when I exited my last company, which I had a very good success, a brand called Pharmacy Beauty, which I sold to a Procter and Gamble, P&G, and I guess I could kind of retire at that point. But it's not. I think for me, it's not about the money, Clint. I think it's more about excitement of building something. Every time when I build a company, I guess you could compare to when somebody hikes the top of the mountain, that feeling of achievement, I guess, sort of. So I think that is really my main, keeps me hungry all the time for that. So it's crazy.
What have you learned about leadership as a CEO and as a CEO of all these various companies? What works, what doesn't, and what are some good traits for leaders, particularly for those who are listening now?
Looking back, sometimes people does ask me like, "Hey, David, what made you kind of be where you are today?" And I usually, looking back, I say, Clint, it's not complicated. I think it's about building a reputation about you and your business style, like promises and over deliver to your customers, people around you. Keep doing that, then everything just comes naturally. Things just come together, and people give
Mhm.
you business. So that's been my philosophy of business.
Yeah, yeah. That. What about building culture inside of your team? How have you worked on that? How do you think about hiring? And in particular, how have you dealt with this whole work from home versus everybody in office versus hybrid model that we've all gone through post COVID?
We do have some people working at remote. But because iLabs is a rich R&D and D and manufacturing facilities, majority of our employees hard to work from home because you have to be there to do lab work as well as production. So I would say majority of our employees are remote. They're in the office usually, but that's changed because of the remote and how to keep the talent company, because if another company say you could work from remote every day and then use a great talent, only way to really keep your talent and people, that I always feel is, because I believe in about people. Everything you become successful because of the people, and you to treat those talent people, which is hard to come by as we know, and make sure that engaged, and really listen to them in a lot of ways.
How are you thinking about AI, and are you using artificial intelligence inside of your company? How does it affect a consumer product company like yours?
Yeah, now a lot of people talks about AI these days. It's very big topic, and I'm always fascinated by what is happening today and in this generation. AI will affect many different industries, but for my industry, as a manufacturing of a beauty industry, I think two things is happening. One is at the production section, where today, let's say, one line, you have 20 people to produce anti-aging cream as it comes out of the
Mhm.
assembly line. I think that's going to be dramatically changed to maybe two people, from the 20 people now using AI robotic system. All this technology has been dramatically improving as we speak in next few years. And the other interesting areas that's happening is research and development in the lab. So today we formulate the creams, lotions, whether it's anti-aging, whatever the product is. Scientist, chemist who does the formulations are the ones who create the recipe of this product is changing. And I think in the future, AI will take that over and you will only have technical lab person rather than high level formulators anymore because they're collecting the data of, let's say you want to create an eye cream, what raw materials and ingredients needed at what stage to have a best outcome for your wrinkles or whatever it is. So I think this coming, it's not there yet, but I just see it's just a matter of time that will minimize our chemists and scientists at the high level position wise dramatically.
How long does R&D take? Just to follow up and continue on your thought here. Tell me about R&D and the whole process of that because you're regulated, right, by the United States government and any other government that you sell into.
Basically, R&D is you start with a client comes to you and as interest in, hey, I want to create an incredible, I'm just going to make up a sunscreen that's SPF 50, but I want to feel really nice. So I want to have other benefits other than protecting the sun. They give us what we call briefs and start using different ingredients to come up, satisfy the brand, the customer, and make sure that everything they're looking for is in there. And that could be 20 ingredients or could be 40 ingredients in the formula and going back and forth. That's typical until customer approves the formula, and then we go to the next step to get the pricing and everything that's needed. But initially, it's to satisfy the customer of what they're looking for. And this, I think this is going to be eventually that AI is able to figure that out. What's the, it's very similar to like creating a spaghetti or something, like what do you need to make the best taste? Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, I wonder how regulations change, and when a regulation changes or when something comes out, how does that affect your company? Like, what do you do in order to respond to, hey, you need to tweak this or you need to tweak that? I mean, does that happen that often?
I mean, it's almost like the brand's taste where they feel, oh, I don't like the smell. Can you make it this type smell? Or viscosity is too low. Can you make it a little bit higher? These things happens all the time. And this is more about what customers taste and we try to satisfy them to their need. This is at that point we're not really typically related to FDA guideline. When we do FDA guideline is what we are claiming. When we start claiming things that this is going to protect you to sun at SPF 50 numbers, that's where we get involved with government regulations. But until that happens, it's between iLabs scientists and customers at that point.
How are you thinking about the economic look at forecast, let's say, for 2025? How are you thinking about that? Is it you feeling good about where we're going right now? Do you think? I mean, and obviously tariffs are this really interesting and intense curveball. But how overall, compare it to 2024? How are you feeling about it going into 2025?
To be honest, I'm a little worried where there's a lot of uncertainty in our industry. So when you have uncertainty, very difficult to predict because what is the side effect is going to happen to these tariffs or new rules coming out in the future. And you could have great business and next thing you know, oh my God, now this business is disaster. We do export product to Canada a lot, and if Canada decide to increase the duty to what administration is placing, then if they say, oh, we're going to charge 30% duty coming into Canada from made in USA, then the business is done. It's difficult. So all this side effect that could happen is unpredictable, to be honest. What could come out of that?
Yeah, that is fascinating. Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you have to deal with here. Like this really does affect anyone who's doing exporting or importing at the level that you're doing and having to sell into other countries. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's a really interesting time, and we'll see kind of how it shakes out for sure.
I think these things we really need to strategize very, very carefully because the side effect could cause a lot of damage in whether it's United States or any other country. I'm not sure.
What do you read? Give us some reading recommendations.
I don't have much time for reading it, but been much lately. But I do read. There's one book that I read over and over again. Is How to Win Friends and Influence People, like by Dale Carnegie. I like that book a lot and learn a lot from it. And every time I read, I always learning. And I just picked up another book recently. It's called Influencer. So the new science of like the leading changes. I haven't studied yet, but there's I'm reading it because the way we marketing things are changing so fast through the influence world.
Finally, we end every interview with the same question, and that is at CEO.com, we believe the chances one gives is just as important as the chances one takes. When you hear that, who gave you a chance to get you to where you are today?
I think there's many people in my journey of where I am today has been really contribute to my success, to be honest. And I think it started with my mother. When she came to United States, she was immigrated to United States and brought me into this country at age 12. It gave me an opportunity to be an entrepreneur here in the United States and work hard and educate and become successful. And it started kind of with my mother. And along the way, as I'm running different companies, pretty much many people that really give me the opportunity to work with them or introduce other people to that in later on became my success. So it is many people, and I always appreciate that I'm only a small portion of my success. Is rest is people around me, and starts with my mother, who gave me an opportunity to be this beautiful country that you could do anything you want to do. It's a country of an opportunity, and so I'm always appreciative. And hopefully, I'll do the same thing to other younger generation who wants to be successful, as long as they have their hungry mind and wants to become successful.
David, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really, congratulations on everything you've built. Congratulations on your success. I hope you slow down at some point so that you can, bask in your accomplishments and everything that
Yeah.
you've done. But it's incredible what you're doing, and keep going.
All right. Thank you for inviting me here, and appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, Clint. Thank you.
Likewise, thank you so much.